He left home for an hour and returned 4 million years later. What if your brief moment away didn't just cost you your home, but dissolved your entire reality, leaving you an echo in a world that no longer knew your name? No, I'm not referring to that scene of Interstellar when Cooper returns home to his daughter Murph. This isn't the plot of a new sci fi blockbuster. This is a story of a king who left his kingdom for what he believed was an hour, or maybe less than that, only to return to a home that had aged millions of years without him. Welcome to Chaturya, the Fourth State podcast. I'm K. Harikumar, author of 9 best-selling books like Naga, Daiva, India's Most Haunted, and Dakini. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about King Kakudmi and his weird story of time travel from our Puranas. It's a story about a father's love, a journey into a dimension of pure consciousness, and a horrifying discovery that resonates eerily with our most advanced scientific theories. Long, long ago, in a golden age of humanity, there ruled a wise and powerful king called Kakudmi. His kingdom, Kushasthali, was a paradise on earth, a city shimmering with peace and prosperity. And yet, amid all this success, he faced a deeply human problem that has plagued fathers, at least Indian fathers, for eternity: finding the right partner for his daughter. His daughter's name was Revati, and by all accounts, she was a being of almost impossible perfection. The ancient text describes her as brilliant, graceful, and so stunningly beautiful, she seemed to hum with a different kind of light. This perfection was her father's greatest pride and his deepest anxiety. No mortal man, no prince, no sage, no warrior seemed worthy of her. King Kakudmi searched the known world and found every single suitor lacking. If no man on earth was worthy, he would bypass earth entirely. He resolved to journey to Brahmaloka, the celestial home of the creator god Brahma, in order to seek a divine consultation. Fueled by her father's desperate love, King Kakudmi and the lovely Revati prepared to step out of their world, believing they'd only be gone for a little while. The journey to Brahmaloka was a passage across dimensions. When King Kakudmi and Revati arrived, they found themselves in a realm of impossible geometry, a place built from pure light and sound. And Lord Brahma, the architect, the creator of the cosmos, he was utterly transfixed, lost in a musical performance by the Gandharvas, the celestial musicians of the heavens. And the music was unlike anything forged on earth. It was a symphony that seemed to dismantle time itself. For what felt to the king and his daughter like a pleasant, fleeting wait, perhaps 20-25 minutes, or maybe an hour, they just stood listening, adrift in celestial harmony, and out of respect for Brahma, they didn't interrupt. And when the final shimmering note faded into silence, the concert was over. King Kakudmi, approaching the creator's throne, he bowed before Brahma and explained his earthly predicament and presented his list of candidates for Revati's husband. He asked Brahma what to do. Whom should I get my daughter married? Lord Brahma listened with a gentle, timeless smile. When the king had finished, Brahma didn't choose a name. He laughed. Then Brahma delivered the most sanity-shattering news imaginable to the king. Brahma explained that time in his realm, that is Brahmaloka, flows at a speed the mortal mind cannot grasp. That brief concert they had just enjoyed, it was hardly 20-28 minutes. But on earth, entire ages had swept by like a flood. Not just years or centuries or millennia. Brahma informed the king that 27 Chaturyugas had passed since their departure. And a single Chaturyuga lasts 4.32 million years, that is 43 lakh years, roughly. So while the king and his daughter stood listening to one song, everything on earth changed many, many times, over and over again. Brahma's words struck the king with the force of a physical blow. O king, the creator stated, all those you may have chosen as your son-in-law have died long, long ago. Their sons, grandsons, and all their descendants are gone. You cannot even hear their names anymore. King Kakudmi stood in a state of shock. His entire world, his kingdom, his loved ones, his history wasn't just gone, it was less than a myth. Now, this is a concept so mind-bending, it feels like pure science fiction. And yet, thousands of years after the story was first recorded, Albert Einstein, the great scientist, would develop a scientific theory that provides an uncanny framework for it: general relativity. Now, I'm not implying that this story has inspired the great scientist, but I'm just talking about the similarities, that's all. In the early 20th century, Einstein revealed that time and space are not constants. They are woven together into a single fabric called space time. And this fabric can be bent and warped by gravity. The more intense the gravity, the slower the time flows. This phenomenon is called time dilation. We've seen this play out in science fiction, most famously in the film Interstellar, when astronauts land on a planet orbiting a supermassive black hole. Every hour they spend in that gravity well costs 7 years for everyone else. They return from a short mission in this planet full of water, and when they come back to the ship, they find that the universe has aged decades without them. The grief and dislocation of those astronauts is a perfect mirror for the horror that must have gripped King Kakudmi and his daughter Revati. He was, in a sense, an ancient astronaut who journeyed not to a place of high gravity but to a different plane of existence where time itself followed different rules. This story is a mythological articulation of time dilation. The ancient texts of India don't use the language of space time continuum, but they capture the philosophical core of the idea that time is relative. What feels like a moment in one place can be an eternity in another. Now, coming back to the story, Brahma offers not just comfort, but a path forward. He told Kakudmi that his world was erased, his history was erased, but life on earth had persisted. It was now the Dwapara Yuga, a different age entirely. On earth, the god Vishnu was incarnate as two brothers, Krishna and Balarama. Brahma advised the king to return and offer Revati's hand to Balarama, for he was the worthiest man in this new world. With this strange guidance, Kakudmi and Revati returned to Earth. The journey home took them to a planet that they no longer recognized. They had left for an hour. They returned over 100 million years later. They searched for their magnificent city of Kushasthali, but it had been swallowed by an ocean of time and replaced by a new city called Dwaraka, Krishna's Dwaraka. The ancient Puranas says that they found that humanity itself had been remade. The people were smaller, the lifespans shorter, their minds enfeebled compared to the golden age they hailed from. Following Brahma's advice, they found Balarama and proposed the marriage. Balarama accepted. And just like that, Revati, the perfect princess from a lost world, was married. King Kakudmi's purpose was complete. He journeyed to the Himalayas and dissolved himself into meditation, finally leaving his mortal body to join the cosmos he had trespassed upon. The story of King Kakudmi is a tragic psychedelic trip through time. It explores a father's love, the terror of absolute loss, and the unnerving scale of the universe. Is this a story about time travel, or is it a warning about the terrifying fragility of our own reality? Now, if you enjoyed this journey to the crossroads of myth and physics, hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into our world's most mind bending stories. Let me know in the comments what other legends you want me to dive into. So, see you next time, and may the reality be with you.